Hi, my friends. I just want to say thank you, truly, for being here with me. Every comment you leave, every time you press play, it means more than you know. I often carry a little notebook or use my phone to write down ideas the moment they appear. In the middle of a walk, during my morning coffee, or even right before bed. Because of this habit, I've collected so many small seeds of inspiration. That's why I can create videos almost every day now. And honestly, I'm treating it like a personal challenge. To show up daily, to create daily, to connect daily. It's not always easy, but it feels alive, and it feels worth it. Thank you for giving me a reason to keep going. You're not just watching, you're part of this journey with me today. Let's talk about something that often hides in the background of our lives, our free time. Most people focus on their working hours, their study schedules, their big goals. But what you do when you're off the clock can shape your life just as much, sometimes even more. We often treat free time as leftovers, the scraps of the day after everything important is done. But free time is not empty time. It's a living space where your mind and body can reset, where you can choose things that make you feel alive. If you treat it as unimportant, you miss the chance to recharge and grow in ways that work or school alone can't give you. Have you ever had a weekend or an evening completely free, but ended up feeling even more tired afterwards? That often happens when our free time isn't truly nourishing. Hours of scrolling, watching random videos, or saying yes to things you don't enjoy can leave you drained instead of recharged. When you use your free time well, it works in two directions. It helps you recover from the demands of your day, and it also prepares you for what's next. It's like a bridge between today's effort and tomorrow's possibilities. And no, spending your free time effectively doesn't mean turning every moment into work or productive tasks. Sometimes the most effective thing you can do is nothing, but doing nothing with intention, sitting quietly with your thoughts, watching the clouds move, taking a walk without headphones, letting your mind wander in peace. These moments give your brain space to process, to sort through what it's been carrying. Good things need roots first, and the roots of your energy are often grown during your free time. That's when you refill the well. That's when you remember what brings you joy. That's when you give yourself permission to simply be, so that when the next challenge comes, you have the strength to meet it. Maybe you just needed someone to remind you, your free time is not a leftover. It's part of the foundation that holds your life together. Treat it with the same respect you give your work or study hours, and it will reward you in ways you can feel every single day. Some people feel guilty when they take a break. They believe that every minute not spent working, studying, or improving is a minute wasted. But rest is not wasted time. It's what keeps you capable of doing everything else well. Think about your phone. When the battery is low, it doesn't matter how many apps you have open or how important the task is. The phone will eventually shut down unless you recharge it. You're the same. Without regular rest, you run on empty, and the quality of your work, your mood, and even your health will start to decline. Rest doesn't always mean sleeping, though sleep is essential. It can also mean doing something that gently takes your mind away from stress. Reading for pleasure, listening to music you love, walking slowly in a quiet place, having a light conversation with someone you trust. These moments refill your energy in a way that pushing through never can. When I first started teaching, I used to fill almost every free hour with lesson planning. I thought that if I worked harder, I'd get better results faster. But I began to notice something. My energy was fading, my creativity was lower, and I was starting to resent the work I loved. When I allowed myself to rest, truly rest, my lessons improved, my patience returned, and I enjoyed teaching again. Rest is not the opposite of productivity. It's a part of it. Without recovery, even the best strategies and skills can't reach their full potential. Your mind works better, your emotions feel steadier, and your motivation stays alive when you give yourself regular breaks. Good things need roots first, and rest is part of those roots. It's the deep breath before the next step. It's the space where your body repairs itself and your mind organizes what it has learned. Sometimes the most effective thing you can do with your free time is to step away completely. Maybe you just needed someone to remind you. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to wait until you're completely exhausted to deserve it. Rest is a basic need, like food or water. Taking it is not weakness, it's wisdom. So the next time you have free time, consider giving part of it to genuine rest. Not distracted scrolling, not background noise while you multitask. Just rest. Let your mind and body thank you in their quiet, powerful ways. When most people think about learning, they think about school, exams, certificates, or skills they have to acquire for their job. But some of the richest, most rewarding learning happens when you study something simply because you want to, not because it's required. Free time is the perfect space for this. You can explore topics that fascinate you, even if they have nothing to do with your career. You can try skills that make you curious, even if you'll never make money from them. Learning for joy keeps your mind alive, flexible, and open to new possibilities. I've always loved languages, and of course, English is my work. But in my free time, I've also spent hours learning bits of Korean and Japanese, not for a test or a certificate, but just because I enjoy it. That joy made the learning feel light. It didn't feel like work. It felt like discovery. And over time, I realized it also improved my teaching because I understood more about what it's like to be a language learner. When you learn for joy, you take the pressure off. Mistakes become part of the fun instead of something to fear. You're free to explore, to experiment, to follow your curiosity without the fear of failure. That freedom is deeply energizing. Good things need roots first, and joy is one of those roots. If you only ever learn for external rewards, a grade, a paycheck, someone's approval, your motivation will rise and fall depending on those rewards. But if you learn for joy, your motivation becomes self-sustaining. This doesn't mean you have to spend hours every day on it. Even 15 minutes can be enough. Read a few pages of a book about a topic you love. Watch a short video on a subject you've always been curious about. Try a creative hobby like drawing, cooking a new recipe, or playing a musical instrument. And here's something important. Joy-based learning often has hidden benefits. A skill that seems unrelated to your work might one day connect in surprising ways. That photography hobby might help you see your presentations differently. That cooking experiment might teach you patience and attention to detail. Maybe you just needed someone to remind you that your free time is yours to explore. You're allowed to learn things just because they light you up inside. Those joyful skills might not go on your resume, but they will become part of who you are. And that's worth more than any certificate. So the next time you have free time, consider spending part of it on something new, something you've always wanted to try, simply for the pleasure of it. You might be surprised at how much it feeds your energy, your creativity, and even your confidence. Over the years, I've learned that recharging my energy is not just about taking breaks. It's about taking the right kind of breaks, the ones that truly make me feel rested and ready to show up again. And because everyone is different, it took me time to figure out what works best for me. One of my favorite ways to recharge is taking long, unhurried walks. I like to leave my phone in my pocket, or sometimes at home, and just notice what's around me. The sound of footsteps on the pavement, the warmth or coolness of the air, the way the light changes between buildings or trees. It's a way of stepping outside my own busy mind and reconnecting with the present moment. Another way is through reading, not work-related reading, but books that make me feel inspired or just happy. Sometimes it's a novel that takes me to a completely different world. Other times it's a simple book of short reflections I can read slowly, letting each thought sink in. Music is also part of my recharge routine. Certain songs feel like pressing a reset button for my mood. They remind me of good memories, or help me feel calm when my thoughts are scattered. I'll put on a playlist, close my eyes, and just listen without multitasking. I also recharge by cooking. There's something peaceful about preparing ingredients, hearing the sound of vegetables sizzling in a pan, or smelling something baking in the oven. Cooking reminds me to slow down and pay attention to small pleasures. Plus, I get to enjoy a delicious meal at the end and maybe share it with someone I love. Spending time with people who make me feel safe and understood is another powerful way I recharge. This doesn't have to mean big gatherings or loud events. Often, it's just having tea with a friend, chatting on a quiet afternoon, or sharing a meal with family. The warmth of genuine connection fills me in a way that nothing else can. Good things need roots first, and for me, these are the roots that keep my energy steady. Walking, reading, music, cooking, and meaningful conversation. They all remind me that my life is not only about working or producing, it's also about living and enjoying the present. Maybe you just needed someone to say this. Recharging is not selfish. It's not a luxury you earn after doing enough work. It's part of staying healthy, creative, and emotionally strong. When you give yourself regular moments to refill your energy, you're able to give more to your work, your relationships, and your own growth. So think about your own favorite ways to recharge. They don't have to look like mine. They just have to make you feel alive again. And when you find them, make space for them in your free time, not just when you're completely drained, but as a regular part of your life. Free time can be a gift, but only if you use it in a way that truly serves you. If you fill every spare moment with distractions, you might feel busy without feeling fulfilled. On the other hand, if you only focus on productive activities, you can miss out on the joy and rest that make life meaningful. The key is balance. I like to think of free time as having 3 parts: rest, learning, and connection. Rest is the time you give your mind and body to recover. Learning is exploring new skills or ideas that spark your curiosity. Connection is spending time with people who lift you up. When all 3 are present, your free time becomes a source of energy instead of a drain. For example, you might divide your weekend like this: a quiet morning walk for rest, an hour in the afternoon learning something new, like trying a recipe or practicing a language, and an evening with friends or family for connection. It doesn't have to be perfectly divided, but having all 3 at some point keeps you balanced. Good things need roots first, and balance is one of those roots. If you give all your time to only one area, for example, resting without learning or learning without resting, you might feel incomplete. True recharge comes from variety. One tip that helps me is to plan free time the same way I plan work time, not to make it rigid, but to make sure I don't lose it to things that don't matter to me. I'll decide in advance. Tomorrow evening, I'll read for half an hour, then take a walk. That way, I'm choosing intentionally instead of defaulting to whatever is easiest, like scrolling on my phone. And here's something important. Balance also means knowing what not to include. If certain activities leave you more tired or unhappy afterwards, give yourself permission to reduce or remove them. Free time should add to your life, not drain it. Maybe you just needed someone to remind you that you are allowed to design your own rhythm. You don't have to follow what other people think is the best use of free time. you can create a mix that feels right for you, one that keeps your energy steady, your mind curious, and your heart connected. When you use your free time with balance and intention, it stops feeling like a leftover at the end of the day. It becomes part of your foundation, the place where you restore yourself, grow, and remember what you love about being alive. As we close this episode, I want you to think about the free time you have in the week ahead. It might not be a lot, but it's still yours. And how you use it can change how you feel about your whole life. Free time is not wasted time. It's the space where you choose how to fill yourself back up. It's where you decide what matters, what you want more of, and what you can let go of. It's where you remember that life isn't only about what you produce. It's also about how you live. You don't need to plan every minute, but you can be intentional. Give yourself moments of true rest. Let yourself learn something just because it excites you. Spend time with people who make you feel seen and valued. Protect your free time like you protect your work time, because it's just as important. And most of all, remember that this time is yours. You can shape it in a way that keeps your mind, body, and spirit strong. Use it well. Cherish it. Let it remind you that your life is more than your to-do list.